Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com. Anime cyberpunk style meets skirmish combat in Infinity. Experience 8 high-tech factions and fight to control the human sphere at the Infinity Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hi everybody, welcome to What's in the Box. Today myself and John are having a look at some Warmachine. John, what are we having a look at?
We're checking out one of the newer jacks for the Protectorate of Menoth.
Now this was your first love in Warmachine if I remember right, because I remember whenever we were playing way back in Mark II, you always said you liked the Zealot faction.
I did. I always have this thing for like the religious zealots, the ones that like charge forward with like all their cool looking crosses and capes and stuff, screaming, "I'm going to kill you because my church is better than yours."
Yeah, that and all the shiny gold baroque and engraved detail and stuff.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. But the problem was that, yeah, I just never really got into the feel of it after that. I loved the look of the models and I was like, I need something more militaristic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I remember I used to always roll out my Kador against you, and it wasn't fluffy bunnies.
It didn't go very well.
No. But what we have to show off today is, of course, the Eye of Truth, which is the latest character jack for Warmachine, which is actually out in the new Forces book. Now, it's a resin hybrid kit.
Yep.
So, standard stuff for Privateer. This is their bread and butter for most jacks at the minute, but they are switching to a lot of plastic for dual kits and stuff. But I like the idea that they're doing this for the character jacks because it gives them that little bit of extra weight.
Yeah.
So we'll start going through the components here. So first up, we have the main body, which is absolutely chock full of detail.
You see how nice that cast is?
Yeah, the cast is really clean. It's got the nice ball joints, so you'll be able to get a good bit of posability on it. A little bit of cleaning to do up around the smokestacks, but nothing too insane.
Yep.
I think it's going to be really nice, and it gives the jack that sort of cathedral look that you really want with the Menoth stuff.
Yeah.
Next up, we have one of the shoulders, which again, just chock full of that overly ornate detail. You know, golds, washes, stuff like that is really just going to make this pop.
Yeah.
Other shoulder pad, of course. All that lovely detail, and even engraved metafixes.
Yep. Which
is really nice. We then have this, which I believe is part of one of the arms.
Yep,
because I'm seeing the socket joint here.
You want to move more into the center of the shot there?
Yeah. There we go. And just all the little mechanical details you're going to want. We then come to
the other one.
Open arm.
Yep.
This is very blocky compared to what I've seen for Menoth before.
Yeah, but it does feel like a heavier jack at the same time.
It does that. I'm guessing this is the arm that Shield's going to go on to.
Yes.
We then have its sword.
The Sword.
Yes, the Sword. Which is really cool. You can see those vents up along the top as if that's just where the flame's going to be pouring out of as this thing swings and lops your head off and cauterizes it as it goes.
Yep. Now, I want to bring to note the detail on the actual hands because I remember the metal cast when they were doing metal cast arms and stuff for the older jacks. Like the fingers just never had that nice, clean hinging sort of look to it. Like they look here like a proper mechanical robotic hand, and I really do appreciate that level of detail in there.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's crisp would be the word I would use for it.
Definitely.
We then of course have the big shield, and this thing does look just big and beefy and like a proper big piece of armor.
Yep.
You know, it's really nice. Big connection point, so that's going to go on and stay wherever the hell you put it.
Yep. We
then move on to the legs
and
the torso.
Hip,
sorry. With the little hanging bit of cloth. Again, this is you actually see the difference between the metal and the resin cast, because you can see the details on this are just ever so slightly, softer. You know, so it does make a difference being resin to metal.
Yeah.
You know, for those that wonder. The leg itself, plenty of detail there. It's going to look absolutely great when you're done. And it wouldn't be walking properly if you didn't have two of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the last bits we have are very small.
This is the sort of small shield to go on to the sword arm.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a little buckler that goes on over it to cover up the flatness of that actual arm.
Yep. We have a gorget.
Gorget? What's a gorget?
It's the bit that goes around the neck.
Ah, right. So it's a little choker, Menoth have to accessorize.
Yep, they do.
Yeah,
I believe that's the back of the cloth on the hip joint.
Yep, that's the actual little bit there.
Yep.
Should have a head in here.
Yeah, we do.
One yet.
We do. Yeah, it's here. There you go.
Yep, we have the head, and it's got that very nice paladin look, but it's got like a crown piece to it, which is really nice, really ornate.
Yep.
And then the last bits.
Our last bits are like sort of medals. So it's actually got some medals being put on it.
So little bits of military decoration.
Yeah.
That's a really nice touch, seeing something like that, to see that this is a Jack that has earned some awards and stuff.
Yep.
Right, it's the card.
The card.
The card for the rules. Okay, run the stat line. Speed 5, Strength 11, Mat 7, Rat 6, Defense 10, Armour 19. Not bad at all. That Mat 7 is pretty damn good. It's got the Gaze of Justice, Range 8, Rate of Fire 1, Power 14. So that'll take lumps out of something. It's got the fire effect, or fire type damage with fire continuous effect.
Yep.
And it's a magical weapon, which is lovely for any of you out there who have friends who are sort of, you know, playing cricks and playing stuff that's immune to anything but magical.
Yep.
It's got the shield for range 1, power 2, so that becomes a power and strength of 13, and that's giving you the +2 armor to bring you to 19. So not bad. It is immune to fire, which is lovely. We've then got its sword. It's called Holy Wrath, right? So range 2, power and strength 18, fire continuous effect, and it's magical. Lovely. The thing that jumps out about this Jack for me is the amount of armor it has.
Yep.
Look at how full this is.
Yeah, that's a good damage chart there, isn't it?
So you are going to be eating through 3 blanks to get to any critical system.
Yep.
Which is pretty damn tasty. You know, that's as good as any Kador Jack.
Yeah, but you will be able to do that with some of the larger Kador Jacks. Because they are quite heavy hitting from what I remember. So yeah, they'll be punching through into that, but it's still going to be taking quite a lot.
When it comes to damage, Kador is as subtle as a brick in mid-flight. You know, it's really that simple.
Yep.
But I mean, like, this thing is not overly subtle itself. It is, from the look of this so far without the special rules, this is going to be a very, very beefy, beaty Jack.
Yeah.
You know, for special rules, I tell you what, we'll do that after we have it built, because that'll give me a chance to read ahead on these and not have to sit here stuttering. So, guys, we'll take a quick break here. John, I'm going to send you a way to put this together.
Okay.
We'll see you in a second. Okay, everybody, we are back. John has built the Eye of Truth. How'd the build go?
Easy.
Really?
Actually, very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
I will say that there's sometimes you look at a warjack model and you go, where does that bit go? And then there's no instructions.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the box, like there's no little image or anything like that.
Hang on, I have the box here.
I'm pretty sure there isn't an image.
No, there's no image. There is the image of it finally built, but that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I would criticize with this, but other than that, it's pretty intuitive to put together anyway. You know where a left arm goes, you know where a right arm goes.
Let's see, left. Yeah, left.
Just making sure he knew.
Alright, well, let's actually get a look at the model. So, under the close camera, here he is, and it does just stack up so nicely whenever it's put together. So the big, big boiler on the back, you've got, yeah, I see where you were saying this goes.
Yep.
The Gorga and the medals. The medals actually really add to it. It looks like a service jack.
It does, yeah.
You know, so it's really, really nicely done. And once you get some primer down on this and actually get some paint to it, it's going to just jump out of the table at you.
It really is.
This is one of those models that I would say I would paint this up super nice just to make it shiny for my opponent to look at and go, I have to kill the shiny one. I have to kill his best paint job on the table.
Yep. We'll say the other one, is it the Avatar?
The Avatar, yes. Yes.
You run the two of them and just be like, look at my super shiny jacks. Ignore the infantry that's flanking you.
That could do it. All right, rules-wise, he does have some really, really nice special rules, right? So the first one is Ashen Veil, right? Enemy models within... living enemy models... I am stuttering anyway.
He read it beforehand. I can testify to this.
Yes, I can read good.
Go on.
Right. This model has concealment. Living enemy models without immunity to fire suffer -2 to attack rolls while within 2 of this model. So that's nice, because if you've got something rolling in on mat 7, suddenly that's mat 5, and it's going from being good to being a bit poo.
Yeah.
We then have Bond to Milkus, right? So this thing is his character Jack, right? This is the one that wants to rock around with him.
Yeah.
We then have Holy Light. This one I like. So, while within 5 inches of this model, friendly models ignore bonuses from spells that add to an enemy's armor or defense. So, Coleman Striker 1 is not going to like seeing this on the tabletop. Alright? We then have Ocular Vision. This is fantastic. So, once per turn, when this model is directly hit by an attack, so that can be ranged or melee, it can immediately spend 1 focus point to not suffer the damage roll.
Oh. So it can actually negate?
Once per round.
Yeah.
It can just go, what? No. But it does say negate the roll, so you have to do it before your opponent rolls. So you have to look at the power and strength of the weapon, I'd say you can wait for him to call if it's boosted or not,
Yeah.
and then make the call on whether or not to
As long
actually
as they
stop
haven't done the roll.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting from this. I could be wrong. If I am, feel free to post it in the comments.
Or perhaps it's a sort of, if they've done the roll and you don't like it, you can go, nah.
No, because it says to not suffer a damage roll.
Okay.
So it's literally saying it's taking away a roll.
Yeah.
So I would assume that it would have to be before the roll. Just common sense sort of thing.
Yeah.
The last one it has
go on.
is just to have it out of the way.
Yeah.
It's Flame Burst. So when this model boxes an enemy model with its weapon, enemy models within one of it suffer the fire continuous effect. So, oh look, I kill you. Just a little.
So
What? Just
that. Really?
yeah, just a little. Little Signar and Trencher. Just no more Trencher. Anyway, what were you saying?
So essentially, the negate damage thing, or the negate a damage roll thing, would be sort of if you're in the middle of combat and things aren't looking too good on the jack, say you've taken a bit of damage, you might want to start preventing that getting a bit worse.
Well, you see, it says any attack. It's not saying melee or ranged.
Yeah.
So even in early game, you can just be rocking up the field. Just hold a focus on this for that moment whenever your opponent says, "Oh, look, you're in range of my bombard from my demolisher or my destroyer, whichever one it is. Fire! Oh, it hit. Well, how about no?
How about it did nothing?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you use that as a sort of
that's a battering ram right there.
Get into combat, but use that roll, that negate roll, to get him there in good health, or would you?
Well, you see, it's once per turn. So every turn he can just be walking up the field, hold a focus, walking up the field, hold a focus.
Yeah.
And even in combat, hold back that last focus. Yes, you're not going to be doing the damage output, but if it's adding up to a bit of survival, actually saying, "Oh, look, you have a jack with 3 focus on it. Okay, you're going to attack with your first. You're going to boost that? No. Okay, send it on through. Okay, your second. All right, your third. I'm almost dead. You want to boost that? Yeah, I'll boost that. Right, you're not getting your damage roll.
Yeah.
Things like that. This thing, it's very much that wedge you're going to drive up the field from what I'm seeing with this, because it can stand there and it can take that punishment.
Yeah.
But that's just what I'm getting from reading the card. I could be completely wrong.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, because I actually don't know what its Warcaster does. I haven't read up on him or her just yet.
Yeah. I want to check out if this would run well with the Avatar of Menoth. Just because I'd like to see that super shiny Jax.
Well, it's 20 points.
So it is quite pricey then, isn't it?
Kinda.
I think the Avatar might be pretty expensive too then.
Yeah, well, you see, that's what you'll find with most character Jacks. You'll normally see one in a force. Unless you're going for like a big 2 Warcaster game, you'll not see both of these on the field. And if you do, you're going to have to draw from elsewhere in your forces, Suddenly you're not going to have those zealots on the field, those racks or anything like that.
Yeah.
Suddenly those little bits, those little extra little bits are going to start to disappear. But I tell you what, that is the Eye of Truth, guys. Drop your comments in below. Tell us, have you used it on the tabletop yet? Just proxy or anything like that. Yeah. Tell us what tactics you've came up with for it. We'll move on here, and we will see you in the next video.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War hub. Take command of elves, dwarves, and orcs in this game of masked fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com.